Hello friends, and here I am again, relatively early on a cold Monday morning. It's a little bit dull outside, as you can see, and what you can hear is I'm boiling water because I'm going to make a nice cup of tea to take with me again. I'm driving over to Austria. I'm taking this little guy is due to have his stitches out today. So I'm really looking forward to this because it feels like a big step ahead in his recovery. 2 days ago, he put his foot down while he was walking for the first time properly. I was excited about that. It's going to be at least 8 weeks before he gets back to some kind of semi-normalcy. So I'll make my tea and then we get out there and start driving towards Austria. Come on, Jacob, come on, it's time to go. Yes, we're going to go get your stitches out. Yes, it's a good day. Well done. So I have my tea, glasses, gloves, I have a dog, I'm warmly dressed, let's go. We just pulled in and as you can see it's much busier here. Well, it's later in the morning. So let's get this little guy out of the car and get him on his next step to recovery. Hey Jacob, should we get those stitches out? Jacob. We've just got his stitches out. I'm going to just give Jacob a few minutes walking. Come on. You can do it. He was not happy. I think quite a lot of the problem is that he's just frightened. He's frightened of the pain and he's just frightened of hurting himself again. Come on. Here I am on a really cold, miserable afternoon to bring the boys somewhere where Jacob can walk flat. He had his stitches out yesterday and I've been a bit worried. Maybe it was a bit of a shock for him going back into the clinic and having that procedure because he was very stressed. He didn't want to go into the clinic because last night he refused to eat his dinner. And today he also refused to eat his dinner. So that's almost 2 days that he hasn't eaten. And that's a little concerning for me because usually Jacob eats almost anything at any time. So I'm going to take him for a nice flat walk here and hope that that gets his juices flowing and that he'll feel a little bit more inclined to eat. Now, Jacob is still wearing his massive cone gel because even though the stitches are out, there's still little minute wounds where the stitches came from and we need to let them scab over and fall off. I took his cone off for a little while and the first thing he did was just lick and lick. I will take his cone off so he can have at least a walk with some comfort because the cone is extremely large. So I'm hoping if he has some more normalcy, a good walk without the cone, he'll feel like going home and eating. Let's see what happens. Arthur, stay. Okay. Out. Come on. Good boy, Arthur. Now, Jacob, I'm going to have to lift him down. So Jacob, what do you think? Should we take the cone off and let you walk a little bit in peace? Huh? Come here. have a little bit of comfort. Okay, how's that? Let's see, almost always he straight away thinks about licking. This is so exciting to see. He's pulling on the lead, but it is encouraging him to put his leg down. So look at this. Jacob, don't pull. The day after his stitches, and he's putting his leg down. For about 6 to 8 weeks, Jacob has to be always on the line, because we must never have that he runs away or plays. And so that's the reason I bought this rather ugly lead like this, so that he can have a little bit of sense of freedom without running away. I feel very sorry for Arthur, who's way down the road. He's waiting for me to throw the ball for him, and I can't throw the ball for Arthur and then have poor Jacob just standing here or pulling on the lead. Arthur, turn. What a good boy. He's coming back on the turn command. What a good boy. Yes. Hello. On a late, cold, miserable afternoon, the visibility is almost zero. It is so misty. At least it's not raining now, which it was doing earlier, but it's still so cold. I'm taking the boys out for a walk. I really need to put my gloves on. It is so freezing. Can you see the big difference of Jacob? He's without his cone. And we are now 3 days since he had his stitches removed. And look at him beginning to take steps, which is absolutely fantastic. Arthur, I should say, is not impressed because it's all just a bit too quiet and boring for him. But he went for a very nice walk yesterday with Rainer. He went snowshoeing in the afternoon. Jacob, shall we get moving? There was an immediate difference once the stitches were taken out. I think perhaps the stitches might have been pulling a little bit, and that made him a little bit more cautious about walking. And the best is if we're on a slight incline like we are here, because it's almost as if he has to use his back leg better to push himself along. We're super excited about this despite the weather, although it's rather beautiful. Just had to call Arthur back. He went running up there. This is the perfect time of day and the perfect atmosphere, you could say, for deer to be coming out of the woods. There's quite a few around here. Have to be very careful that they don't take off or chase wildlife. Arthur has proved himself very reliable, that with the right command he always returns. We've come out into a very nice little clearing where surprisingly it's not as misty. You can see the mist in the distance behind us, and it's in the trees up behind us as well. And you can see that there are a lot of deer usually around here, because this little building, or this little hut behind me right now, is a deer hide where the hunters will sit hidden with the door, the little window, I should say, open in the front. And then they have a view of this whole field, open field area behind me now, to observe and watch if deer walk across. Of course, we're quite safe at the moment because with the dogs, because it's not hunting season. Here I am out for a walk with Jacob. It's a Saturday and it's the most glorious day. It's so beautiful. I was tempted not to wear a coat, but once you get out into the fresh air, you realize it's glorious with the sun, but it's also quite chilly. There's a breeze down here by the river that's really quite cutting, goes through you. I'm out with Jacob, and Rainer and Arthur are taking a wonderful long walk from halfway up the mountain. All the houses up there, and they're walking along past this nice grassy spot. Then they come through the forest, and then it's about at that gully there they start to come down, and then they come out about there. So in about 10-15 minutes, Jacob and I are going to go and pick them up. We're taking a gentle stroll along by the river. This is 2.5, 3 weeks of physio and massaging and gentle walking has accomplished. This is absolutely amazing to see that he's just walking now. No cone, no medication, no painkillers, nothing anymore. Just eating well and learning to walk again properly.
Arthur! Arthur!
Meanwhile, Jacob and I took a gentle walk on flat, open fields. It was also very pleasant. Well, that's all for us this time from A Dog's Life in Liechtenstein. Please support Arthur, Jacob and I by feeding the hungry YouTube algorithm, and you can do that by liking, commenting and especially subscribing. Thank you, and see you again soon.